Hey, how's it going, guys? Ricky Summer here, and today I've come back in time to recreate the Discovery Scanner from Elite Dangerous on my synthesizer. But first, a message from our sponsor.
Inner Rim Excavations. Building the future.
Okay, so here we are in Elite, and I'm going to give you a little test. Don't worry, I don't expect you to actually fail the test. I'm sure every last one of you is going to pass it with flying colors, but I just want to demonstrate something here. So I'm going to switch over to my face cam in a second, and I'm going to play either the synthesizer or the Discovery Scanner from Elite. And you have to tell me which one you think it is. Okay, so I've got my controller here. I've got the synthesizer. Yes, I use a controller while I'm exploring because I like to sit back, relax, and just, just chill, buddy. No, this video is not sponsored by controller use. Unless you're ready, I'm going to play either the synth or the actual Discovery Scanner. Here we go. I'm going to give you a second to get down to the comments and tell me which one you thought that was. Elite Dangerous or the synthesizer? Okay, time's up. That was the synthesizer. Okay, but I tried to trick you a little bit. I tried to trick you by doing the build-up on the Discovery Scanner because I haven't quite figured out how to produce that sound. Just the big braam I've got. But this is what the Discovery Scanner actually sounds like. One of the greatest sounds in the whole game. I love it. I'd love to know how they made that. Like, the exact process. Did they use a synthesizer or a bunch of samples from something? They probably layered a bunch of different things. That's a common technique. Anyway, let's go back to Facecam here and go back to the synthesizer. So interestingly enough, it seems that the Discovery Scanner in Elite Dangerous sounds out on a G sharp. Now, of course, I'm using a synth so I can play any note I like. Here's the G sharp. Here's the D. I quite like the D. Gets a little bit raw. All right, so let's switch over to SynthCam. Hi, hello, it's me. And I'm going to run you through the makeup of this particular patch. So I made this myself based off of a preset that already existed on the Yamaha Reface DX, which is what I'm using. It's an FM synthesizer. FM synthesis is basically magic. That's not true, but it's kind of complex. I'm going to do my best to explain roughly how it works, but keep in mind, I'm still very much a student of FM synthesis, so I'm not an expert. Okay, so let me first show you the original patch that I built this off. It's got that kind of sweeping, evolving kind of quality. And I thought, hey, I could see how that kind of could sound similar to the Discovery Scanner in Elite. So then I adjusted it and came up with this, which is much closer to how it sounds in the game. Of course, it's not perfect. It's not exact. Could we do things to it in post and layer it and add other things to make it more exact? Absolutely. But just for the sake of, the fact that just with this piece of equipment alone, we can produce a sound that sounds very similar. I'm geeking out on that. I think that's very cool. Anyway, so FM synthesis, we're going to go to algorithms here. FM synthesis is based on operators, right? So like tone generators, oscillators, we call them operators in FM synth. And we use operators to modulate other operators and kind of feed them into each other. And it's very, Game of Thrones and...
Too hot for YouTube.
Okay, so for this particular patch, we're using algorithm number 4. Now we can flip through all the different algorithms here. We've got up to 12 different algorithms that we can use. And again, I remind you, I'm absolutely not an expert on FM synth, but the way that I read this is we've got operator number 1 sounding out as normal. Then that's being modulated by operator number 2 and number 3. And then operator number 4 is modulating 2 and 3. So it's this big cycle and it's magnificent. Later on, I'll show you what this exact sound sounds like with some of the other algorithms so we can get an idea of how it may or may not change based on moving around the algorithm. Okay, so now I'm going to hit edit and I'm going to show you essentially the envelope of this sound. So it's the attack, decay, sustain, release. So we've got two distinct shapes here. As you can see, the first operator is right on. There's no slow build-up on the attack. It just comes straight in. So it doesn't, it doesn't really get held for that long. It hits and then it kind of fades away. Right? Because we do have that big hit at the start of the sound. Next up, the other three operators, 2 to 4, have a slow attack. So they're kind of creeps in a little bit. Then it hits and then it kind of slowly fades out. So we've got that combination of the big hit and also the evolving wow. And that's how I've done it there. So the main course here, if you will, the main sound is that big hit, and then those slow attack sounds are kind of feeding in, modulating that big hit at the start. Pretty simple. Okay, we'll go to feedback, and I've bumped up the feedback on this a little bit. Now, I don't, actually, I'll be honest, I don't fully understand exactly how feedback really works. I understand, how changing it changes the sound, how it makes it sound, but I don't actually understand what is being really fed back here. But there is an element of, like, you'll notice a little symbol there. We can adjust this. There is an element of, depending on which way you feed this back, you'll either produce more of a square wave or a sawtooth wave. So we've actually got all sawtooth here, and we're mostly like feeding back at around 50. In fact, let's even this out. Not that it really matters, but let's even it out. So 50, 15 on 4. Let's play it again. That's the sound we got. Now, if we were to bring these down, for example, it kind of takes the edge off. It takes that harshness off it, right? We could bring it down further, make it more of a square wave. It's an interesting sound. I think it's less accurate, but still interesting. That's not quite the sound we're after. We want that sawtooth sound, I believe. So let's get back to around 50. There we go. Maybe a little less meaty, but it's got that harshness to it that I just need to hear. It's beautiful. Okay, then we can have a look at level, which is essentially the volume of each of the operators. 69. Nice. What if we just like boost the volume of everything here? Whoa! That's too much, right? That's that's too severe. So let's bring this back down to 69. What does it sound like now? Yeah, operator 4 is still way too wild, so we need to bring that right down. What was it? It was around 100, I think. Much more manageable. Okay, what happens if we just like gut operator number 2? Yeah, we lose a lot of the chunk, a lot of the meat of it. Let's bring that up to max. What happens if we gut operator 1? Absolutely nothing. Because, why? Because these other 3 operators are modulating operator number 1. Let's have a look at the algorithm again, right? So if that's the one, again, I remind you for the 3rd time, I'm still a student of FM synth, so I'm still kind of just like piecing it together in like what is logical, you know? But the way this makes sense to me is if that's the one making the sound, and that sound is just being adjusted by what these other operators are doing, if we reduce the volume of operator 1, well, we've got no sound, right? Like that's the gate of our sound. Anyway, then frequency. So this will actually adjust. Is it like we can add detuning, you know? So if we can, these are at 1.5. So if we just like boost these up, let's see what happens to the sound. See, it gets higher. We've got more higher frequencies in there. What if we like drop the sound? Hey, you know what? I think that sounds better. That might actually work a little nicer. What if we drop this one as well? Yo, did I just improve this? What if we go... Hang on, hold on. Just out of curiosity, I don't think this is going to really work for us, but what if we detune operator 1? Is that better? Hold on, let me play the one from the game. Ooh, Sophie's choice, I think. What if we bring that up to 1 again? You know, I quite like that. We lose some of like the other nice frequencies just dancing around there, but it does get sort of beefier. Something like that, something like that. Okay, so we've got level, frequency, the algorithm, feedback, and the envelope. And that's like the gist of it. Then we can go to effects, and we've got chorus, which is going to thicken the sound. And delay, which is that da 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 da, that sort of trail off. So it gives it a little bit of an artificial longer tail. Look, listen, I think it sounds pretty good. So as promised, let's go to the algorithm. Let's see what it sounds like when we adjust the algorithm. So this time we've got operators 2, 3, and 4 modulating directly into 1. A little bit of a cleaner sound, less chunky. Okay, now we've got operator 1 and 2 sounding out, and 3 and 4 are only modulating number 2. Ooh. Ominous. Oh, yo. This one just doesn't want to... It doesn't want to end. Alright. Enough of that. Operator algorithm 7. So this time, we've got 1 and 2 sounding out. 3 is modulating both 1 and 2, and 4 is modulating 3. There you go. Ooh. See, we're getting a lot more of what 2 is doing. That really slow build up. What about 8? So this time, really simple. 1 and 3 are sounding out, and 2 and 4 are modulating 1 and 3. That works roughly the same way as our first algorithm. It's got this really long tail on it. Wild. Yeah, just less chunk to it. Ooh, okay, this is an interesting one. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3 are sounding, and 4 is modulating 1, 2, and 3. Ooh. That's chunky, dude. That's Chunkzilla. 10. 1, 2, and 3 are sounding out, and 4 is modulating 2 and 3. Yeah, pretty similar. 11, 1, 2, and 3 are sounding, 4 is only modulating 3. Kind of a cleaner sound. And lastly, 12, which is just all operators sounding out on their own, no modulation. And that just doesn't ever want to end, apparently. And that's cool with me. That's fine with me. So let's go back to 4. Yeah. That's the one I like. That's the one Ricky Summer likes. Yeah. So yeah, I know this might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I was quite jazzed about this. I think it turned out pretty well. Could we record it, put it in Reaper, add some effects, EQ it, add some reverb maybe? Yeah, sure. We could probably make it sound better. But just from the standpoint of being able to grab this piece of equipment and go, gas giant discovered. I'm into it. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to gently caress that like button, taste the game, be excellent to each other. And I'll see you next time. Ricky Summer, out.